Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. I've got a question for you. What do you think would happen if a watch designer took every single idea they'd ever had and combined them all into the same watch? I think this would happen. The Aquatico Supercharger, available in either titanium or bronze, fully loomed ceramic bezel insert, one of 3 different colours of lume used on the dial and the hands. Did I mention the fact that the hands had tritium tubes in them as well? Oh, and it's square. It's like a party on your wrist and everyone's invited, though I'm not entirely sure that everyone will want to attend this particular party. I should point out, this one was sent to me for free by Aquatico. I don't have to send it back. They've been sending me watches in for review for the last couple of years, in spite of the fact that I've had a bit of a pop at more than one of them. You remember this one, I'm sure, the mermaid riding the dolphin on the caseback. Truly one of the most appallingly magnificent caseback insignias I have ever seen on any watch, anywhere, at any price. If you're keen on this supercharger, you will find a $25 discount code in the description of the video. Let's flip the camera and find out if it is indeed a party worth attending. A party on your wrist and everyone's invited. This is certainly one of the most full-on watches that I have ever reviewed. I posted this one on social media and someone says it was like a Bell & Ross and a Zelos had had a baby. I reckon the 2 godfathers were a ball and a vintage Tudor. At least there's a whiff of Tudor in that bezel insert anyway. But there's an awful lot going on today. So I'm going to start with where I think the essence of the party lies, and that is when you turn the lights out on this one. The lume, as you can see here, is full on. BGW9 in the ceramic bezel insert and C3 on the tip of those hands. But T100 tritium inlays in the dial and T25 tritium tubes on the hands, all 3 hands. And as you can see, when the speed starts cranking up, the arrows on the ends of the hands disappear first. The bezel insert hangs on in there, but there you are. That is tritium in full effect. Tritium's got a half-life of about 12.5 years, so this one should be glowing like Chernobyl on your wrist for a decade or more. But do you want to wear this watch for the next 10 years? I can't see too many people looking at this screen going, that's my next daily. That is my next go anywhere, do anything watch. There's, as I said, a lot going on here that might not suit everybody's tastes. I mean, the titanium one may be a bit more suitable as a daily, but square watches are certainly a bit of an oddity, bit of a rarity. This is the first one I've reviewed on the channel. Plenty of tank style watches out there, but apart from Bell & Ross, I'm not really sure of any companies who make this style of square watch. If you own a Bell & Ross or a square watch, please leave me a comment. Let me know how you get on with one of these long term. So just under 43 millimeters in diameter, 15 mil thick and 49.5, just under 50 mil lug tip to lug tip. They tend to have longer lug widths. This one is indeed 24 millimeter lug width, and on the supplied leather strap, this one weighs in at 135 grams, so there's certainly a bit of chunk to the case. Now that case is made of CUSN8 marine grade bronze, but apparently it has been treated to keep it shiny. So it looks to me more like aluminium bronze. Bronze doesn't necessarily age the same. Aluminium bronze tends to stay shinier and look a bit dirtier. I suspect that crown is an example of how the watch will look. So don't expect all bronze watches to patina in the same way. That is a piece of dead flat sapphire crystal covering the dial with anti-reflective undercoating and ceramic bezel insert, as I mentioned in the introduction. 120 click unidirectional rotating dive time, and it is actually quite a nice feeling bezel, no backplate or no bounce in that one. Now the case back is also worthy of note. Grade 2 titanium, so they're certainly piling on the exotic materials here. Screw down crown, screw down case back. Claimed 1,000 meters of water resistance, though again I'm not quite sure who is testing these. I've had the back off this one and at least it has a double seal there, so it is fairly well made. It feels fairly solidly constructed. The Aquatico contained in there is a Seiko NH35. It had to be pretty much the kind of mainstay of micro brands the world over. 24 jewel hacking and hand winding auto. Let's pop this one on the time grapher just for fun.
No real complaints about this one, coming in quite steadily, +6, +7 seconds a day with a healthy amplitude and minimal beat error. These run at 21,600 vibrations per hour. They're cheap and cheerful, they're easy to replace. When the time comes, you kind of bin them rather than service them. There is a fairly strong argument that this is all you really need in an automatic watch in terms of movement. And you're probably not buying this one on the movement anyway, are you? Let's be honest, you're buying it on looks and because of that party on the dial. So a mixture of printed and kind of embossed. Those tritium tubes appear to be embossed there on the dial. It's a kind of gloss black dial matching the gloss black finish on the ceramic bezel insert. So Aquatico printed above the pinion, supercharger 1000 meters and proudly heralding those T100 tubes that are each of the indices. So double index at 12, singles everywhere else. We've got a printed minute track around the outer edge with 5-minute increments in Arabics there. All fairly simple and clean. The handset, there's kind of a lateral brush on those. Gold-toned handset. I don't imagine they're made of bronze. I imagine they're made of stainless steel with a kind of brushed finish to them. And as if this watch needed any more colour about it, there's a bright red second hand with paddle tip, matching that vintage style triangle surrounding the loom pip up there above the index at 12. Now NH35 also has a date complication. They've decided to move the date window down there at the 4:30. I guess that means they don't have to delete one of the tritium tubes, but it always looks slightly odd when it's not at 6 or 3. So this is one of the 2 supplied straps that comes with this supercharger. It claims in the listing that it's Horween, but it doesn't particularly look or smell like Horween and it's unbranded as well. I spoke to the company owner and he said it was a Horween upper, but you know, if you're familiar with Horween straps and you're looking for that smell, those wear characteristics you get with Horween, I think you're going to be disappointed. I would regard this one just as a leather strap. It does have a big chunky Aquatico branded buckle there. Check the width of that tang. It is quite nicely made, nicely stitched with that vintage cross stitching as well. And this is the second strap, isofrane style rubber, massive numbers of holes in this one, so certainly this is the one to wear if you're going to get the watch wet at the weekend perhaps. Plenty of space here to pop it over the top of a wetsuit, if that's your bag. So let's get this one on wrist and have a look at it. I've got a 7-inch wrist for your reference. Now it sits quite flat. There is minimal protrusion from the case back. The titanium case back does stick out a little bit, but not too much. I wholeheartedly concur with the decision to use 24mm lug widths. I think it would have looked very odd with 22 or even odder with 20. So good that they decided to stick with larger lug widths. Panerized, these kind of big chunky cushion case watches do tend to have larger lug widths. You're not going to forget that you put this one on your wrist in the morning. It has a bag of wrist presence. Now that's going to suit some, but not others. But it certainly is legible from afar. This is my preferred colorway, this kind of black pseudo vintage style one. There is a green, there's a blue, and obviously those colors carry over to the titanium range as well. But certainly no problem picking the hands and the indices and the bezel markers even from a distance, in daylight as well as you saw earlier on at night. And it's fairly legible outside thanks to the anti-reflective undercoating on that piece of flat sapphire crystal. I suspect you already know whether you're interested in a square watch. Maybe it's something that everybody has to have once. It's one of these boxes that one has to tick. It certainly doesn't look or feel like anything else I've ever worn to this point anyway. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'll leave that up to you. And there we are, that's it, on wrist on the alternative strap, the rubber style strap. Nice and soft and compliant and comfortable, this one. This is certainly the option for you if you do intend to pressure test this one, see exactly how deep you can go compared to that claimed 1000 meters. Moans and niggles, well, it's full on, it's the party on your wrist, it's everything including the kitchen sink that the designer has ever dreamed of putting into one watch, and that is going to put a lot of people off. I'm not quite sure why they have put a coating on this bronze. Part of the fun of owning a bronze watch is to enjoy the patina and to an extent control the patina. You know, squeeze it with lemon juice if you want to freshen it up, but I'm not quite sure why they spent extra money putting a coating on the watch, which kind of defeats the purpose of owning a bronze watch in the first place. Kind of an odd decision there. And those 2 tritium inlays on the dial at 12 o'clock, the 2 that glow orange after dark, well, they're not exactly parallel, are they? They're a bit squint. It's like having your 2 prominent front teeth not quite aligning with each other. They should really have taken care of that one better. And then there's the price. I haven't talked about the price, and if you know I haven't talked about the price up front, it's because I've got an issue with it and I've saved it for the moans and niggles section. These come in at just under $500. As I said, there's a $20 voucher for this or anything else on the Aquatico website in the description of the video. $500 for something that you may not wear all that regularly, I think is stretching the friendship just a little bit. Clearly there's a lot going on here with the bronze, the titanium, the tritium, etc. But at the end of the day, it's still only got a Seiko NH35 in the back of it. I reckon this one would go much better in terms of sales if it was pitched closer to $400 US. So we're all invited to the party, but how many of us will actually be attending? I don't think they're going to run out of ice at this party.
So there you have it, the Aquatico Supercharger, louder than one of my average t-shirts. I don't mind this one, it's fairly well constructed and certainly different from the crowd. I just think it's a bit too expensive. Even given all the gadgets and gizmos there, I would be much happier recommending this one to you if it was $375 or $399 rather than $475 or $499. Thanks for watching, I will see you in the next video.